I want to answer this question real quick about North versus South Austin. What do you think? I mean, you're in San Antonio, right? So, I mean, obviously you don't know the Austin market that well, but what are the differences investing in properties North and South Austin? Something worth mentioning. What do you think, Ian? Go ahead, Logan.
No, go ahead, Ian. Sorry, my bad. I talk too much sometimes. Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you are listening to Logan's strategy, which is the marquee right now, North has been growing a lot longer and faster than South has, right? So North, the price points are still much higher. However, there's still so much more growth, so many more announcements to go. I look at it like, what do you think is better? This is a trick question. Dallas or San Antonio? Because if it's a long 35, that's what you're asking yourself, right? You're asking yourself, which direction is the growth going to be more prominent? So we know that Boring Company was trying to work with San Antonio to build a tunnel. We keep hearing stuff like that. But then also Cybertruck they just announced that Samsung won the deal for the camera.
Of course they did. They're building a plant.
No, well, I know, but it wasn't official, right? All of this is speculation and talk. And like you still see all of this growth in both directions. I think you can only really go wrong if you're going east and west. But as far as what's better, KVU just announced Georgetown is fastest growing, right?
That was for 2021. I still think it's probably they have room. Here's my opinion. I want to hear Logan's opinion, but my opinion is I still think it's better to invest South Austin, depending on what you're buying, because South Austin isn't building as heavily as North Austin is. That's true. Prices are organically going up because there's not enough supply south. I'm a big fan of buying South Austin. And I feel like the rents are always higher South Austin. It's just the way I've done it. And I really like Dripping Springs. Wink, nod, anybody with me on that one, because Dripping Springs has a water issue, and so they're already stopped building. They've told developers to stop developing in Dripping Springs, which means the prices only have one direction to go. So Logan, so that's why I feel strongly about South, but I do want to hear from you, Logan. What if you were doing the crystal ball and which is the best? Although I do want to say, if I'm investing, I'm definitely looking heavily at Manor with good tax rates, and I'm looking on that north east side because of all the development coming in on that corridor off I-35. So
it's solid manufacturing line.
Yeah. It's
all along 130.
Yeah. But I want to hear your.
Well, I'll tell you. So you asked me if I was going to invest, but Ian, you said a minute ago, you're speculating. Is it Dallas or is it San Antonio? So I don't speculate. I like to speculate at the bottom of a market. In 2008, I speculated. I bought 25 lots, waited for them to go up in value, and sold them because the market was going. So when we're talking about investing, I'm looking for a known return and something that's understood right now. And for me, it's not really about what's going to develop in the path of growth, north or south. It's about how good is the deal. So I would want to find 3 deals on the north side and 3 deals on the south side and say, which one is the most smoking deal? That's the one I want to get, because I'm making a decision based on a known discount today instead of which direction it's going to go.
Not future value.
Yep. Now, if the market crashes and goes all to pieces, that's when you want to say, smoking deals are everywhere, so you can speculate. Well, I think the development's going to go more north because of the tunnel or whatever. That's when you'll speculate.
Oh, yeah, and then they're going to put the tunnel down to San Antonio, which is going to be fantastic.
I'm a big fan of San Antonio for a lot of reasons. One of them is it's the 7th largest city in the States, but in my opinion, it's in the top 25 cities. It's the least undervalued. I mean, you used to be able to, 10 years ago, I bought houses downtown for $10,000 and $15,000. Those same houses that I have right now are worth $150,000, $170,000. So we've had extreme value increases. And because we're still such an affordable city, I'm seeing people values just fly up within an hour of Austin. I bought apartment complexes within an hour of Austin because the rents went from $900 to $1,800 in 24 months. And I'm seeing that same effect of it bleeding down to San Antonio because Austin is so crazy expensive, and we're an hour and a half away.
That's 100% why I looked at New Braunfels. That I looked at that market. I don't know the San Antonio market that well. I help buyers there often, but like to know the ins and outs, like I know the ins and outs in Austin. It's two separate things, right? But when I looked at New Braunfels, I said this market is starting to go crazy now, and I put that house under contract as a new build before it went real crazy. This was like March of 2021, and then it went stupid nuts crazy. And so what's crazy is if I were to sell that house now, I would have 150 in equity in it the day we close.
Larry, let's stop for a minute. Let's talk about that. Right now, the market is cooling off, right? It's probably not going to be just bullishly appreciating in the next 24 months. You just picked up 150,000 in equity in the last 12 months while you're waiting for this to build this. You probably are not going to pick up another 150,000 in the next 3 years, right? Nope. So what if you sell that house, take your $150,000 and split that up and say, I'm going to make that 2 down payments, 75 on each house, and buy 2 houses.
It's not a bad idea. Although I mean, if I'd have to 1031 for sure if I do that, but yes, I don't think that's a bad idea. The problem
unless you bought them in San Antonio.
Yeah, I'd have to buy them in San Antonio.
Just pay cash.
The problem is that interest rates on that right now are 6.5% for an investor. That really eats into is plus, especially in Austin with property taxes going up as high as they have. Even like Cullen County, what's Bear County announced? They were like 40% increases. Austin's 56% increases. So that's where it's getting tough. And I think that's why we're seeing the market cool as fast as it's cooling.
I think that has a lot to do with it. Jobs are not improving as quickly as cost of houses, of rents are. That's huge. Big one. Interest rates are starting to climb a little bit. So yeah, you combine all those and for sure. Now, I think we're going to be a little bit luckier than a lot of other places. When the market had that crash in 2008, we still had a really, really attractive place because we had energy business here. We've got really attractive tax environment for businesses. Those were all great. But what that's done in the last couple of years is it's caused this great migration of businesses to come from the coast into Texas. We've also had the business environment helps with that as well, which is incredible. Energy, we still have energy. That's just popping again. So that's good. Yeah. We've got a lot of institutional money parked on the sidelines, I think, that are trying to do the Blackstone deal of 10, 15 years ago is buy single family. So I think since Texas is one of the best places to be right now, as the market starts to soften, that institutional money is going to start to activate more and say, let's get these single family houses. Now that doesn't keep houses in circulation. That takes them out of circulation for quite some time, but it still creates more transactions and helps sustain that pricing.
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.